Ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the Yag Tiger. Yes, the Yag Tiger, the German tier 9 tank. Now this tank, I used to love this tank. I'm not going to lie. I used to really like this this tank when I first sort of joined the game. The tank's really only got one decent thing going for it, and that is the DPM. It's all about the DPM with this tank. Now this tank was the highest DPM tank for a very long time. That is before the SU-12254 has now taken that crown. So let's just have a dive into the stats, and then we will have some gameplay of the tank. So 1,800 hit points. Now the armor is 263 millimeters against tier 8. That's not bad. That's not bad, especially if you're angled, if you're using some gun depression. It is quite a difficult pen, but of course directly facing an enemy, it is quite an easy pen. The upper plate is a lot stronger than the lower plate, but it's a lot easier for people to penetrate. If you're looking directly at them, the armor's not the greatest. But to the gun, 3,997 DPM, which is still crazy. That is a 6.9 second reload. Penetration 276 on your AP, 352 on your APCR, and 65 on your HE. So plenty of penetration, if I'm honest. You don't need to run calibrated shells on this tank. Run it with the rammer, pump up that DPM just that little bit more. It also has a 460 alpha gun, 390 on your APCR and 600 on your HE. Aim time 3.8, not great, but not the worst. Dispersion 0.308, and actually for a TD, that's not too bad at all. And 8 degrees of gun depression. And 8 degrees of gun depression, sorry, and it goes 38 kilometers per hour. So it's not like really slow. It's nothing. It's not too bad. Obviously, the mobility of the thing, the traverse and stuff like that, isn't the best, but it can perform. It can perform out there, and if you can get yourself into a position where you're just farming, that is what this tank is about. It's like it's a farmer. It's a farmer, because that's really all it's good at. If you get caught out in the open, you're going to know about it, and you're going to get absolutely ripped apart. You don't have any armor to the rear, so tanks will probably be able to HE you. Of course, do look out for those Death Stars, because they can hesh you from the side and the front as well. So yeah, just get yourself in the position. You can see here, it's not a very slow tank. For what it is, it's actually quite quick, but you have to get yourself into the position so you can use that gun. You need to put the DPM to good use with this tank, because that really is the only way that you're going to perform well. Now we are on canal, and considering we've only got one light tank, I didn't really want to go to the left side, and there's quite a lot of heavies around, so I thought this side would definitely be best to farm up some damage. And as you can see, there are quite a few tanks around this side of the map, so we're just going to shoot, and we're going to get a little bit of damage into these guys. But of course, this position is fantastic. I absolutely love this position, because you can literally cover the whole map and you're not getting spotted. Unless tanks come a little bit closer, you're not getting spotted. Of course, there is the T100 there, so I did back up. I thought I was going to get spotted, but it turns out I didn't get spotted, so I dropped down for no freaking reason whatsoever. But we still already managed to pump up nearly 2k damage. I really want to shoot that Death Star, because he's a dangerous target, and I just missed that shot. Now our VK and our chieftain down there is in all sorts of problems, and there goes the chieftain. So we're now facing a 4 versus 6 situation. Obviously, I'm not looking at running away, because I'm a slow tank. I'm not the slowest, but I'm not also the quickest of tanks. I want to stay and fight. I want to stay and use my DPM and just take these guys' hit points, because you can take them very quickly. You'll be surprised at how quickly you can take out these guys, these hit points of these guys. So of course I am now spotted. There is a guy to my left, the AMX 100 5120, sorry, and I do manage to take him out, and I do get a bounce there from him. So I haven't lost any hit points whatsoever at the moment. I want to keep my hit points, because it's a 4 versus 4. There is the E75 there. You can see we can just manage to hit the hatch, and that's a 400 487 alpha shot there every 7 seconds. If you can get that alpha, I mean, it has a 460 alpha anyway, so 460 every 7 seconds is incredible. Like I said, the only other tank that can sort of in tier 9 and tier 10 that can match that is the SU-122, but that is a bit of a different tank. It's a bit of a different tank. You can play it the same, but it's quicker, doesn't have any armor whatsoever, and it just has a little bit more DPM than this tank has got. So there's just 2 tanks left alive now against us 4. We are winning on supremacy points, and now I know where the Kranwagen is. We are now just going to push this Yo. And again, there goes the Object 84. So it's not the quickest of tanks, but you can see here, like, yes, I'm going up a hill silly, but we can still move. We can still move. For what it is, it can still move. And the grill's just going to rush into our Yo here. So the grill's full hit points. I'm full hit points. This Yo is now a one-shot. So I have no problems whatsoever. I have no worries that we're going to lose this. And there goes the Yo. So I've got 2 kills. You can see just over 3k damage. I think I've got 3.4k damage, and we've got that with no problem whatsoever. We got that with just being shot once from the AMX, and even then we still bounced. So no one else has looked at me at all. No one else has shot at me because I stayed undetected. I remained out of sight and not spotted, and that's what you've got to do in this tank. You've got to try and remain out of sight and not be spotted for as long as you can, as long as you got the shots off. Of course, if you haven't got no targets, then you're going to have to relocate, and to do that you need that mobility, and that's where this mobility comes into it. I mean, 30 odd kilometers an hour isn't the best, but for what this tank is, it still isn't that bad. So yeah, use that and just get into positions that you can just farm, because that is what this tank is all about. The only thing that this tank is all about, and it is DPM, because it has almost 4,000 DPM, which is absolutely crazy. And you can see I didn't do nothing really, and that's almost 4k damage, and that was a first class. Absolutely crazy. But next up, when you're in the right situation and the right position, and you've got the right team, and you're up against the right enemy, this is the kind of stuff that you can do in the Yag Tiger. You don't see this kind of damage that often in a tier 9, but this is the kind of stuff that you can pump out. This is the kind of damage that you can pump out. And of course, another brilliant map, and that is Castilia. So he's going to go up, of course, to the only face 4,000 DPM, says the Yag Tiger. Yes, we will face 4,000 DPM, but so will you. And our guy will play it much better than you will. So of course, he's got into position now, and now he just has to wait. There's 1 light tank and 1 medium tank on each team. His light tank and medium tanks have gone to the left side, and his heavies are slowly going to the right side. Now this map is all about your team. If your team doesn't spot for you, then this position is useless. You need to rely on your team to get those spots. And of course, at the moment, the heavies are not doing it. They're not doing it at all, because we currently don't know where any tank destroyer is, or we don't know where any heavy tank is. The only tanks we know is these 2. That is before now the heavies are moving forward. We have some opportunities for some shots onto the heavy tanks. But of course, while he's got shots into these mediums, of course, going for these is a much more better option, because they have the DPM, they can spot, and of course he's just going to try and get out as any shot that he can take. So the back chat now is isolated. He does take care of the Sheridan, but hopefully the TVP will manage to clear him. I'm not sure what this enemy Yag Tiger is going on about, but you got to, in this position, you have to be careful that you're not spotted, because if you're spotted, anyone can shoot you, and you're literally just going to get deleted. But he needs his heavy tanks. He needs his heavy tank support. He needs his heavy tanks to push forward and just keep these enemy heavy tanks where they are. And to be honest, even if they're not forward, sitting where they are is fine, as long as they keep the tanks spotted. If they keep the tanks spotted, then of course the enemy heavies will go in to try and get the shots on them, and that's where he's going to have the opportunity to farm a bit of damage. And that's pretty much what we're going to see this game. We're going to see a lot of farming. He's definitely in the wrong job. He should be a farmer because that is exactly what he's going to do this game. So you can see the enemy have started pushing in. The Waffles being a bit brave there, and the Emil's being a bit brave, and now the Waffle should have run Spool Liner because he's just going to get deleted. But as you can see, he is spotted. Excuse me. He's spotted, but luckily no one is looking at him, and because he's got the DPM, he is just farming these guys. The Emil is now a one-shot. The Waffle is also a one-shot. Of course, he does high roll the Emil, but he just leaves him on 2 HP. So he's got plenty of targets to go for at the moment, and that there was a nice shot. But again, when you're spotted, you will get shot at. Not quite sure what the TVP is doing now, but because he's not attacking that bat chat, the bat chat is keeping our Yag Tiger open. He's keeping him spotted, so he's not able just to sit in the position he was. He has to back down, get his reset his camo, and again the Yag Tiger is raging. He's not happy. I mean, RNG is not on the enemy Yag Tiger's side, and there's a reason for that, because the RNG is on our Yag Tiger's side. So yeah, 3.6k damage done at the minute, and as you can see, he's still got the bat chat in sights. And again, that was a nice shot into that bat chat. And again, I mean, just look at the DPM. The bat chat can't compete with something like this. It can't compete, but he needs to do something, because now it is a 2 versus 4. It's a 2 versus 4. What's he going to do? Is he going to go and help the TVP, or is he going to stand his ground and fight the heavies that are coming his way? Here comes the bat chat. He really needed to take that shot on the bat chat there. So by the time the bat chat gets to him, he would have already reloaded his next shell, and he does that anyway without taking any damage from that bat chat. So now he just needs to turn around and wait for these heavies. Luckily, the IS-7 is a one-shot anyway, but we know that there is also the T-57 there. We know that the Yag Tiger is coming from behind, and there is that T-57. So he's just going to stand his ground and fight. He has got the TVP for a little bit of protection, so they're actually shooting the TVP rather than shoot him. But the TVP is now a one-shot. The T-57 is hold down. Obviously, of course, he does have a weak turret in certain places, and the IS-7 is just hiding behind. Of course, he needs to clear one of these guys, and he does get a nice bounce, and he clears the IS-7. And now he's going to push forward, and he's doing this for a reason. He's trying to keep his TVP alive. But unfortunately, again, another troll bounce into the T-57. But now the T-57 is on a reload. He can just farm this guy. The TVP's also bouncing him, but he does manage to take him out. So that is currently 5 kills and 7.1k damage. But now it is Yag Tiger versus Yag Tiger. DPM versus DPM, but our Yag Tiger is only on 480. So of course he's gonna have to get some bounces. He's gonna have to. He's got no choice to get some bounces, unless he can just get out of sight before the Yag Tiger can get the shot off. And luckily, because of this T-57 is here, he's able to do that. You report Yag Tiger, and he gets that all-important bounce. That is a massive bounce there. So he's going to use the adrenaline, and of course, he does manage to take him out. So that was a classic example of how you should be playing this tank. Just farm. Absolutely farm. And he farmed 8,500 damage. A well-deserved 6 kills and 1,600 block damage. So you can see the armor profile can still work on this tank as well as that DPM. So thanks guys, it's definitely a line worth grinding. It's not that fun now. It's a bit boring to play unless you get matches like that where everything just goes your way. But yeah, it's still a difficult tank to play. Hope you enjoyed the video guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With